A very good morning or afternoon to you, depending on where you are. Thanks so much for joining us today for a webinar I know you will find interesting and informative. My name is Sandy Elson, and on behalf of the travel professional community and homebasedtravelagent.com, I want to welcome all of you and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us today. We are very happy to welcome as our host Gifted Travel Network. Our speakers are Gifted Travel Network founders, Meredith Hill and Vanessa McGovern. Meredith and Vanessa will be talking about the 10 things successful travel business owners do. Meredith and Vanessa will tell us how to transition your travel business from hobbyist mode to a thriving business. A little background on our speakers. After years of running her own successful travel business, Meredith Hill founded the Global Institute for Travel Entrepreneurs, or GIFT, in 2011 to help other travel professionals discover the path to success. GIFT's coaching and training programs have helped hundreds of travel professionals identify their brilliance, define their niche, and implement successful business strategies so they can make more money selling travel. As it became apparent that many agents were struggling to find a host agency that truly supported the niche model that GIFT teaches, Meredith teamed up with Vanessa McGovern and Jennifer Cochran to found Gifted Travel Network in 2013. Vanessa McGovern, who has previously been recognized as one of the top 30 under 30 travel professionals by Travel Agent Magazine, joined GIFT as Vice President of Business Development and Strategic Partnerships in 2012. In 2013, Vanessa founded Gifted Travel Network with Meredith Hill and Jennifer Cochran. Today, she proudly serves as Executive Vice President and co-owner of Gifted Travel Network, now one of the fastest growing host agencies whose mission is to support entrepreneurial, spirited travel professionals. Before we get started, please remember that you are all muted, but if you have questions for our speakers, you can type them in at any time in the question area on the right-hand side of your screen. At the end of the presentation, we will get to as many questions as we can. Also, at the end of the presentation, Meredith and Vanessa will be giving away a $50 gift card to one lucky travel agent who has attended this entire webinar. More about the giveaway later, but just a hint, you may want to take some notes. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to Meredith and Vanessa so they can get started. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that kind introduction, Sandy, and thank you to all the travel professionals out there that have made this presentation. We are so grateful and excited to share our content. So I'm Vanessa, who's speaking right now, so you can identify our voices, and Meredith is right next to me.
Hello.
And I do want to actually throw in, we did not actually, shame on us, Meredith, we did not update that bio to effectively articulate a recent accolade that you were just bestowed. So Meredith is recently the recipient of the American Society of Travel Agents, ASTA, their Entrepreneur of the Year. And so Meredith Hill was just recently named Entrepreneur of the Year from ASTA and was given that award at their recent conference in Reno, Nevada. So that was very exciting.
It was very exciting.
So we're very happy to be here. And as Sandy pointed out, one big differentiator between us, and hopefully you identified that in the bio, is that we actually own and operate two companies. And so our host agency, Gifted Travel Network, as you see here on the logo on the bottom of the first slide, we're powering, this webinar is being powered by the host, Gifted Travel Network. We'll be talking about our host agency, but our host agency was literally born out of the company Meredith founded 5.5 years ago, the Global Institute for Travel Entrepreneurs. So we're coaches. We are business coaches. Meredith and I are hired by travel professionals, brick and mortar, 20-year experience agents, or brand spanking new coming into this industry. We are hired by travel professionals and everything in between, including tour operators and bloggers. We are hired to help travel entrepreneurs grow their business. And through our coaching, and our programs, our clients would constantly come to us and say, so you're teaching us about how to have our own brand. You're teaching us about, building a specialty and having a niche, but we're going back to our host agencies and they're saying, but you have to use our website. You can only sell our suppliers and the commission is this and blah, blah, blah. So basically, you're not, who should we host with that is supporting the specialization model that you're teaching? And you're teaching all these social media strategies and digital marketing strategies and online marketing. We're not finding a host agency that is supporting what you're teaching. And so 3 years ago, we decided, based on the request of our many clients, we kept getting that little nudge, that little nudge that people kept saying. We're like, you know what, we should listen. And we started a host agency. So that's now 3 years ago. And so we are one of the fastest growing host agencies out there. And it's really exciting. And one of the biggest differentiations between us, because we know you have a lot of choice with hosts. There's a lot of great host agencies out there, but the biggest difference between us and other host agencies is basically what you're going to consume during this presentation, which is our content and the way we teach. Because as a host, we can offer you, and a lot of host agencies do webinars on everything that they offer, right? Which we offer everything all the other host agencies offer: access to a great consortia, access to a good CRM, access to marketing programs, access, commission, all those things, right? But we're not going to talk about on this webinar because that's not what makes us different. What makes us different is that we're business coaches. What makes us different is that we have our finger on the pulse of what's working in this industry. What makes us different is that we've been able to successfully coach hundreds of travel professionals into wildly profitable business models, and we have aggregated this information and we dispense it out like candy on a regular basis. We do, on our private Facebook forums, we're constantly teaching. We hold groups, coaching sessions for them, our agents to strategize about group stuff and groups, joint venture strategies and partnering with breweries and wineries and all kinds of things. And we're constantly educating, and inspiring our members to think big about their travel business and to think differently about their travel business. And we're right in their corners, advocating for them, giving them ideas, spoon feeding them ideas, because that's how we want to be as a host. We want to be your partner. And so our content, in terms of how we're delivering this presentation, because most host agency presentations are, static PowerPoint slides on, and here's our CRM that we do, and here's our this that we do, and here's a website that we offer. We offer so much more than that. We want to empower you to think like a business owner, and we want to mold ourselves to what your passion and what your desire is for your business. And a big part of that,
your vision is our mission.
Yeah, that's our tagline, literally. Your vision is our mission. And in order to be able to do that, though, you have to transition yourself out of being a hobbyist and into a business owner. And for many of you, you've become what Meredith has coined now in our industry as you've become accidental hobbyists. You don't want to be a hobbyist, but the educational path that you've been put on for whatever reason, however you've chosen to get educated in this industry, has led you down a path where you got a lot of certifications, you've been on a lot of webinars, you've attended FAMs, but you don't have a lot of clients. And you still don't have that profitable business. And if this resonates for you, and if that's you, I think you'll be able to get some insight in just a moment here as we go through the content as to why you are an accidental hobbyist and not, what you want to be. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to educate you on the 10 things successful travel business owners do. And we've aggregated this information because of our coaching programs and because of our clients and our successful travel professionals. And to get started with the content, first we're going to talk about a problem that we face in the industry. And I'll have Meredith share that with you because she was on the receiving end of that problem. She was that problem. She lived that problem because she was in your shoes for many years. So Meredith, let's talk about that. What is the problem? Why are there accidental hobbyists?
Well, before I even jump into that, I just want to echo what Vanessa said. I think she said it exactly perfectly. That I believe you're going to love the content that we're about to share with you. These 10 things. I know you're going to get a lot out of this because we've done this before and we always get amazing feedback, and everybody's really, really excited about what we are here to share with you because we really do get it. Like we said, I was a business owner selling travel for 10 years. We've coached hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, and we now have our own travel agency in the industry, so we have our finger on the pulse. We understand what makes for a successful travel business and how to attract the right clients and how everybody really has a great opportunity right now to make great money selling travel. So my challenge to you before I jump into the content is, if you like this content, if you really, really like this content and you're not 100% satisfied with your host agency, reach out to us afterwards and ask us the questions you want to ask us, and just consider, the possibility of switching to a new host that is really on your side and wants to be your partner. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. The problem that we face in the industry is that there is no amazing, cohesive, comprehensive, relevant travel agent training program at all. There's a lot of training available to you, for sure.
Shortage.
There's no shortage of training available to you. Almost all of the training available to you is free. Almost all of the training available to you is provided by suppliers or tourism boards or your consortia, and it's all supplier driven. So most of the training available to you is product training, and it's in isolation because, yes, you are here to sell travel, and so you do need product training in order to do that job well. But that's not your only job. If you are selling travel and you are an independent contractor, you are a business owner, and so you need to know how to market, you need to know how to relationship build, you need to know how to do your books, you need to know how to budget and forecast and set financial goals for yourself. There's a whole lot of other things that you need to know how to do, not just sell travel. That is a fraction of your responsibility. And the only travel agent training programs out there are the ones that are responding to the product side of it.
And unfortunately, the suppliers with the deepest pockets often get the most attention with educational resources. Like you're being guided to go to certain training programs because a supplier funded it.
Exactly.
And so you want to pick programs that are neutral and based on what you want to sell.
Exactly. So what do we mean by cohesive? Well, just a program that's all in one place, right? You don't have to go to this event to get this piece of it. You don't have to dial into a webinar to get another piece of it. All in one place. Comprehensive. It's covering every single fraction that you're going to have to cover as a business owner. It's covering everything you need to know how to have a successful business.
And we like to break it down into 5, right? To have a successful business, you do need product. Absolutely. No question. You need product. You need training on the sales process from the moment of inquiry, from when they come back from their trip and everything in between, operational and client care-wise. You need operational training and assistance on the business ownership side, like how to have a profit and loss report, how to manage your expenses, how to do your projections. You need good technology. You need training on that. But then you need to have training on client attraction systems, because you can have all the product training, you can know all the technology in the world,
and
if you don't have clients,
most beautiful marketing programs possible, no demand. But if you don't have clients to market to,
doesn't matter.
So you need client attraction.
So don't get shiny object syndrome with the hosts that will dangle amazing marketing programs, because if you don't have clients to actually use those marketing programs too, it doesn't matter. And then the last pillar to be successful, the 5th pillar really, is having an entrepreneurial mindset and how to think like a business owner.
And then what we mean by relevant is today, in today's day and age, because there's also a lot of information out there that is completely outdated in terms of how to be successful or how to just train yourself. A lot of If you find training programs that seem to be more comprehensive and cohesive, they're probably outdated.
So just be leery of that, obviously, when you get there. So when training is all centered around all the things that Meredith says, what happens?
What happens is the accidental hobbyist.
And we want to combat that. We're on a mission to combat that, right?
We are. I would say that I would say that 70%, maybe even higher than 70% of people in the business of selling travel are accidental hobbyists. And that it's the reason why goes all the way back to the training program. There is zero, until now, you know, at Gifted Travel Network,
we do have
our own program we're incredibly proud of.
There's been some amazing results.
Amazing results. And we'll get to that in a minute. But let's talk about the 10 things that successful business owners
that combat accidental hobbyist syndrome.
Completely. The antidote to being an accidental hobbyist are these 10 things. So number one, you must set up a separate legal entity for your business. This sounds really basic and really obvious, but it is so surprising how many people don't do this. And one of the reasons why it's so important is because it's really how you put your business owner hat on, it's how you put your business owner big girl panties on, but it's also how you show up to other people. If you're not going to take yourself seriously, your clients and potential clients won't either.
And how you do anything is how you do everything.
Exactly. So you must take yourself seriously and set up a separate legal entity. It doesn't take nearly as much time and effort to maintain that as you might think. So if you haven't done that yet, literally put that on your to-do list for tomorrow. Not that difficult. Okay, so also in the practical, very boring number side of things.
Well, considering our business, it's pretty sexy. It's a pretty amazing industry, but we do have to talk about topics like number two.
Exactly. So number two is you have to budget. You have to set financial goals for yourself. And once you do that, it's really, really empowering and powerful to track them. So doing number two is absolutely a turning point for you and your business. If you have already been doing this, then I congratulate you, and you get a big, big gold star today, because very few people have done this. And in all honesty, it took me 4 or 5 years before I started doing this myself when I was in the business of selling travel. And the irony of that is,
this is a big irony. Wait for it.
Wait for it. Irony of that is that it took me 5 years to do this, is that I left a career as a financial analyst. So I know how to do this. I was paid highly to do this. I'm really good at it, but I still stuck my head in the sand. And the honest answer why, I was afraid to look at them. I was really afraid to see my own numbers. And just get over that fear and just do it. And, you know, we teach a really simple, solid way to do this. You don't have to be good at numbers. You don't have to be financial analyst. You don't even have to be analytical to understand how to do this. It's really not difficult at all. And at GTN, we teach a very simple way to do that.
And not having a handle on number two, you're disempowering yourself to grow. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard travel professionals, they have an opportunity to invest in a good education program, and they say, oh, that's too much. I can't afford it. Mm-hmm. But if you really look at your budget, you spent that much money going to conferences last year on airfare, on flights, well, that's the same, on hotels, on transfers, on the conference tickets, just to go learn more product. And here you have an opportunity to actually learn how to market your business, but you think it's too expensive because the initial price tag seems higher. But if you had a good budget, you would know that you actually spent double that in travel expenses last year, which I'm not saying you shouldn't. You absolutely need to go to conferences. It's very important that you invest in the right conferences. But when you don't have a handle on your numbers, you can't make empowering decisions because you do need to invest in programs that are going to help you grow your business. And oftentimes we don't. We think we can't afford it. But if you've actually done your budget, and you actually did spend that last year on something else.
And once you get over the fear of actually seeing how you're doing and what your numbers really look like, and that reality check, once you get over it, it's actually so exciting to see what's possible.
So exciting.
So exciting, because once you are aware of where you are, then you can figure out where you can go.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps. Oops, wrong little button. Hold on. There we go.
Number three.
Your favorite.
Yeah. I could spend 3 solid days on number 3, which is pick a specialty, stick to it, and figure out who your ideal prospects are. And I think the best way to understand why this is so important is when you don't pick a specialty, you're going to come from a place of scarcity. You're going to believe that any client is a good client, And anybody that comes along your way, you want to get their business, and you're afraid to isolate or not speak to certain people, so you're going to create language that speaks to everybody. And when you speak to everybody, you speak to nobody. I mean,
write
honestly,
that down. Write that down.
No one's going to hear you.
No.
And so it's so important to pick a specialty, but not just pick a specialty. I think that might be number 4, is the core compelling message.
Right.
But yes, you have got to pick a specialty. And another biggest reason why you have to pick a specialty is because the business model of selling travel changed drastically about 10 years ago, when airlines eliminated commissions and online booking engines became a driving force of a lot of people booking travel by themselves. So the business model changed drastically then. Does it mean the travel agent disappeared?
No.
It means the travel agent now became a travel expert. And people who have been successful in that transition, that's exactly what they did, is they decided, I'm going to put myself out there as an expert, not an agent. An agent is someone who takes orders and books for someone else. An expert is someone who has an opinion. An expert is someone who has wisdom. An expert is an advocate.
Connections.
Right, exactly, has connections. So you need to be marketing yourself as an expert, because when you market yourself as an agent, guess what? They think they don't need you because they have an online booking engine, and that's a lot quicker. Sorry to say it, but it is. It's a lot more convenient for them to go online, find something, and book it, and compare it to other things. If they just want something to be booked, they can do it themselves. But if they want some help and advice and an advocate and connections and blah, 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 they're going to want an expert, and there's definitely a demand for expertise, because we see how popular TripAdvisor is, and it might be the bane of your own existence, and you may be frustrated with TripAdvisor, but the thing about TripAdvisor is it shows you that there is an enormous amount of hunger and demand for travel expertise. And
people didn't stop traveling because of the airlines and because of the online booking engines, but we've been, as an industry, and Meredith, you speak about this a lot at conferences, at different conferences that you spoke about. You say that we've just been so stuck on the problem for so many years. Everybody's always like, oh, but the booking engines, you know, the booking engines are not the problem. The problem is the education. The problem is that we haven't focused on the solution. People are still in need of travel advice. We just haven't shifted ourselves into a new model as an industry, out of the agent model and into the expert model fully, to be able to be of service to the traveling public. We are the problem. It's not a problem. As an industry, we haven't shifted out of the agent model. We are not, for the most part, on Main Street USA, where you're next to, you know, the high-end, the grocery store, where people just walk in on a Saturday afternoon, grab a brochure off the rack, sit down at a desk, and book travel. That's how it was. We're not on Main Street anymore.
And it was that way because they didn't have another choice.
Yeah, right.
It was somewhat monopolistic. I mean, there were lots of travel agencies out there, but travel agencies were the only ones who actually knew about the inventory of travel. So
you had to use it.
You had to use an agent.
Even for
anything.
And
really the problem or the solution is to market yourself as a travel expert, not a travel agent.
That's the solution.
That's the solution.
And you do that through developing a core compelling message.
So people think once I pick a specialty that I'm done. Right? Oh, I've got a specialty, Meredith. I'm good. My specialty is cruises. No, that's not really a specialty. I mean, yes, it's a specialty, but that's only half of your.
I'm a sandal specialist.
Yeah, that's great, and that's okay, and that's good for you to know. But you have got to market that specialty in a way that is magnetic to your ideal prospects, and the way to do that is through a core compelling message. So there's a very famous quote by Theodore something, I can't remember his last name, and he says, people don't buy a 1/4 inch drill, they want a 1/4 inch hole. So sell the hole and not the drill. And we have been conditioned as an industry to sell the drill.
Because the drill is just so amazing. I mean, because we work in travel. The drill is a butler suite at Sandals White House. I mean, that's the drill.
The drill is, penthouse suite on Crystal.
Over the water bungalows in Bora Bora.
Yeah,
that's the drill.
I mean, the drill is very sexy and beautiful and amazing, and it comes with tons of beautiful brochures and marketing pieces and all that stuff. But if you're just marketing your products, you're using exactly what your suppliers are giving you or your consortia is giving you, and that's all you're doing to market, you are perpetuating the problem. You're perpetuating the fact that you're an agent, not an expert. And a message is how you change that.
And how does the consumer delineate the difference between you and sandals? I'm a sandals expert.
Right.
How do they know? Okay, well then to the consumer, then what's the difference between you and sandals? So
exactly.
They don't know.
They don't know. Why do they need you if you are just promoting sandals?
So speaking of sandals, you have great, let's give an example of the switch.
Sure.
Instead of being a sandals expert, they could say,
I am a romantic travel specialist. I help couples rediscover the butterfly feelings in their stomach and create, memorable romantic experiences for each other so that they can return to love or find that connection again or something like that. That's a good, compelling message because, first of all, you know who your ideal prospect is. It's couples who want to rekindle or couples who have, just want to stay kindled.
That's good. I've never heard anything like that.
But it's clear who your ideal client is, and it's very clear what you do for them, and that's selling the whole, not the drill. And so that means, well, we'll get to this in a little bit, but that means you also need to be marketing your expertise, not your products.
Speaking of which, number 5. Now you have a core compelling message.
Now you have a core compelling message.
You have to have a specialty. The world needs to know what it is. And in order to do that, you need to do number 5, which is set up marketing systems to continuously list build. So before you dive into this, Meredith, can you just define what you mean by list build?
Yeah. So list building is just basically getting a new contact name, and it's how you have reach with people when you market. So the best, most ideal way to list build is email list building or direct mail list building, where you collect a name, an email address, and then possibly even a phone number or a physical address for someone. That is the act of list building. Is when you have collected one of those, you have begun the act of list building. And you want to do that continuously. You don't ever want to stop doing that.
Ever.
Ever, ever, ever. The number one marketing blind spot for travel agency owners is list building.
Say that again. That's important.
The number one marketing blind spot for travel agency owners is list building. And the reason why is because when it comes to training, it's all product, right? That's what's available to you, so that's what you consume in terms of training. And when it comes to marketing, your suppliers and your consortia are giving you awesome marketing resources.
Amazing.
Amazing. Some of the stuff that we get through our consortia or our suppliers is out of this world good. Yeah. And you pay either nothing or something very, very little for it, which is awesome. Fantastic resource. But if you do not have a name and email address to send that stuff to, it's completely useless. And so that's why this is such a blind spot, is because you get these resources, you submit your little list, and you think, boom, I'm done with my marketing because that's being taken care of by the stuff the consortia is giving me. No, your marketing is not done yet, because if you're not going to continue to build your list and add to the names in that list, your business will shrink. I guarantee it.
Or it won't grow at all.
But ultimately it will shrink because you're not truly building a relationship with them through supplier-fed marketing either. So that's number 5, is you must set up systems to continuously list build. I mean, something as simple as exhibiting at a bridal show is a fantastic list building system. When we teach that, like you said, give it out like candy. at GTN how to do it, how to effectively do it. We share success stories of people who are doing it.
We have our agents, like last weekend, one of our travel MBA students, Janine out in Boston, her specialty is literary themed travel. So she works with people who want to bring the books to life, or she'll work with authors. So very cool.
The name of our company is Storied Adventures,
yes,
which I love.
Which Meredith helped to birth during the Travel MBA program, because Meredith mentored her through that. Anyways, she exhibited at the Boston Book Festival. She had a beautiful booth
there. She
had
to actually apply.
Yeah.
You weren't automatically accepted.
Right.
She applied to be an exhibitor. She was accepted. She had an amazing booth, and it was an awesome, awesome experience.
And she shared the booth pictures, is what I wanted to say, too, in the private Facebook forum.
Right.
A lot of our members do that. They want to help each other, and so that the community can see what they're up to. And and Janine shared that. So anyways, the reason why we're telling you this is because going to a consumer show, like a bridal show, like a book festival, in her case was relevant because it's her niche. You know, we have agents that will specialize in breweries, beer-themed travel. See the world through beer is one of our agents' taglines. And he's actually going to be going to a brewer's conference, where it's not like a brew festival for consumers. He's actually going to go to a conference where he's in front of brewery owners, and he's going to pitch the concept of that to the brewery owners to go take beer trips with them and their clients. So again, these are the kind, and he got this idea through working with us, and this is exactly what we do. We have these kinds of conversations with our agents to help get them super focused in their travel business. Another list building, so you just said consumer shows like bridal shows. The other one for online that we talk a lot about is Facebook ads. That's another great way to build your list. Offer a free piece of content through a Facebook ad, and then get them to opt into something, you know, so that they can get that free piece of content, like the top 5 honeymoon destinations, whatever that is. And then those people's names are automatically added to your email list. So those are 2 big ones.
Those are 2 really good ones. So the marketing, I want you to understand that your marketing systems, you need to have 2 different types of systems in place at all times. The first one was what we just spoke about, list building systems. So when it comes to marketing, you want to be doing 2 things. Number 1, you want to be list building, and number 2, you want to be relationship building. And the stuff that your suppliers and your consortia give you definitely helps in number 2, in the relationship building. It keeps you in front of your ideal prospects or your past clients. And so to some extent, if you are engaging in your marketing programs with your consortia, with your suppliers, then you're doing a portion of relationship building marketing systems. But it's incredibly important. If you just rely on that alone, guess what you're going to be doing? You're perpetuating the travel agent business model, not the travel expert. Because how are you showing yourself as an expert if you're just sending them information on stuff from Royal Caribbean and Crystal Cruises and Uniworld and Oceana and Delta Vacations and whatever? So if it's just feature-oriented, supplier-based marketing, then it's good and it's helpful, but it needs to be enhanced by your own. And so the number 1 way to do that, most powerful, best way to implement a relationship building system to your ideal prospects or anybody on your list is the electronic newsletter. On the gift side, our institute side,
where we're business coaches, the education
teach a theory, a philosophy on the newsletter. It's in our Make Money Selling Travel Blueprint, and we have not strayed from this philosophy in 5.5 years. It is effective, it works, and yes, it must be sent once a week. Yes, you will be emailing your clients your own newsletter once a week, and it must be sent on the same day, at the same time, no matter if it's Christmas or not, just consistently. And basically, this is how you build know, like, and trust. And so this is how you're going to begin the process of establishing yourself as an expert with the people who are on your list. Because you're going to, number 1, come to them, open your newsletter with a friendly greeting that brings them in a little bit in your own light so they're starting to get to know you. And according to Dale Carnegie in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People,
Classic.
When people know you, they start to like you. So the easiest way to get people to like you is just to let them know you. And that's why the greeting in the newsletter is so important and powerful and effective. And then you follow the greeting with content, just good travel content. And it shouldn't necessarily be product content. It can be, but why don't you ask yourself, well, what was the best question someone asked me this week? You know, we have agents on the Institute side in that community who write articles sometimes based upon that, a question someone asked them. And they'll write an article like how to pack your bag for a day at Disney at the parks, and what should be in it, and how to strategize your backpack.
Or, you know, what to bring on an international flight. You know, tips.
What to bring on an international flight.
Exactly. For the one when she was traveling to Australia, like tips for like a long flight kind of.
And then we had another one who wrote a very simple article on how to get your global entry.
That was a big one. That was really popular, how to get your global entry. And so you can see here, this is an example of the newsletter that Meredith does on the Institute side, which probably some of you are opted in for. And this was a picture of us with, that's Meredith and I with Sean in the middle. And so he was a coaching client actually, and he had just come for his in-person half day. So we talked about that, and then Meredith did her article. And so on the GTN side, a lot of our agents are opted in for each other's newsletters, and they cheer each other on. Sometimes they share articles with each other if they have similar niches, and they really give shout outs to each other, and it's a really cool community on Gift, but also on GTN. They really help each other a lot, keep each other accountable with posting the newsletter. And in fact, can I add, Meredith, that we would not be here if it wasn't for a newsletter.
No,
I mean, both companies are literally born out of a single individual newsletter. So you just don't know what's possible when you consistently stick to one marketing formula. I mean, Gift started with a newsletter. It's still going, and we were able to grow GTN because of that too.
And we built Gift from home. We didn't have an office for the first 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing that I like to say about it, because I get so many objections to number 6.
I don't want to pester my clients.
I don't have time to do a newsletter, and I don't want to pester my clients. Those are the two biggest objections. Or I don't know what to write about. Anyway, so
that's a whole webinar.
When you are objecting like that, you're looking at the newsletter, the electronic newsletter, weekly, by the way, the wrong way. And you're looking at it in a much more linear, direct way to get business. And I don't want you to look at it that way, because marketing isn't linear. It just isn't. And that's the way it is today. I want you to look at the weekly electronic newsletter as your virtual storefront. Because if you work from home, and even if you don't work from home, even if you have a storefront, you still need to be top of mind. And this is a fantastic way to be top of mind in a very graceful way. You're not going to be pestering them if you're showing up very friendly, letting them in on your life, and bringing really good content on a weekly basis. Are they going to read it every week? No, definitely not.
But it's like a storefront. Are they going to go into the storefront every week?
No. But you will stay top of mind, and they're probably going to refer you more often. And if they take themselves off your list, then they're doing you a service, because they weren't an ideal prospect anyway. So it's a self selection too, which is awesome.
So really good points about the easing. So I would love to personally hear from you after this webinar. We'll share our contact information. If you're doing an electronic newsletter, let us know. I mean, I'd love to know what you're doing. This has been a huge proponent of our success. And if you're resonating with what we're talking about and want to stay connected with us further, go ahead and even friend me on Facebook. Send me a note. Let me know I've been doing this. Here's my story. I'd love to hear from you. Just find me on Facebook, Vanessa McGovern. You can find Meredith as well. Find me, Vanessa McGovern. Send me a note and tell me that you heard us talking about this and that it resonated for you. All right, number 7.
So number 7, this is very obvious, again, thing to do as a successful travel business owner. But number 7 is kind of an interesting one, because we're going to tell you to sell what you know for sure, But we're also going to tell you, don't go overboard with selling what you know, or don't go overboard with getting to the know part of what you sell. And we think that's one of the greatest mistakes we see happening in the industry, is that people are, attending webinars, product training, going to all these FAMs, and they're spending way too much time on the product education. Do you want to say more about that?
Yeah, and actually, I talked about this in the Facebook Live on the Institute side earlier this week. We like to help you sort of put a framework around how to spend your time. We like to view it in an 80-20 rule. Mm-hmm. And everybody's heard of the 80-20 rule. And so most travel professionals are spending 80% of their time currently in product and technology training, and 20% of their time,
or less
actually, more like 90-10. I'll be generous. We'll be generous, 80-20. So let's say 20% of your time in actual marketing and client attraction and client care, and most of that is actually client care. In fact, interestingly, I asked a question in our gift community, again, our sister company, once. I said, what's your number one best piece of advice that you could give to like a new person coming in? Like, what is the number one thing that you do? And it astonished me. In fact, it played perfectly into this point. It couldn't have played more perfectly if we tried. There were like 50 responses, and every single response had to do with client care and delivering amazing, over-the-top, surprise and delight type customer service experiences, which of course is important. But not one person said anything to the new people about the importance of client attraction and actually the art of acquiring an ideal customer, and the marketing efforts and energy and bandwidth and investments that you must make in order to actually get a client and keep the client. Never mind, okay, you got the booking from the client, then you can put your client care stuff in action. But if you don't actually have a client, then giving that advice to a new person means nothing, because these new people, they don't have clients. So it doesn't matter if you have the best client care process in the world. If you don't have a client or your ideal client, it doesn't matter. Okay. So nobody said anything about client attraction, and that's the problem with our industry, that nobody is teaching you how to actually get your client. And so 20% is spent in that part. Now, we want you to flip the script. We believe in order to be successful, the 10 things successful travel business owners do, our successful travel business owners in our community, they have flipped this formula, and 80% of their time is spent in marketing and client attraction, and only 20% of their time is spent in product. In fact, we introduced this concept to our community at the end of last year, and we had one of our members reach out to us saying, I love the 80-20 concept. It really resonated for me. And I went back and I looked at what my 2016 calendar was going to be, and I realized, whoa, I have so many FAMs on there, and then I was just invited to another one to whatever destination it was, and I realized that FAM is not, it's a bucket list thing for me, but it was not really aligned with my business objectives, and I'm weighing too heavily on the product side between my conferences that I'm attending and now all these extra FAMs. Because of the 80-20 rule concept, I actually went ahead and respectfully declined the opportunity to go on that FAM, because I would rather spend that week investing in setting up my marketing systems, and there was actually a trade show that I could go to, and I felt like that was a better use of my time to get clients than to go on a FAM, because if I don't have clients to sell to, none of these FAMs are going to matter. And I just wanted to reach through the phone and hug her, because I'm like, you get it, you get it, you get it. So that's what we mean. So you want 80% of your time needs to be spent in marketing to acquire new clients and to retain your current existing ones and have good, client care. But only 20% of your time should be spent in product training and technology training. So many times, like, I see new agents being like, I have to learn Sabre, I have to learn all these GDS things. Just stop, just stop.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that right now. You need to worry about actually marketing your ideal clients. So that's what this point is about.
All right.
All right.
We go.
So number 8, we already started
touching
touching
on this. Talk about the wholesale client care. Absolutely. Having a very specific, consistent client care process is important. And that's another thing we figured out is a common denominator amongst the most successful people in this business is that they have a system for their client care. It's not just so-and-so gets this treatment and then another client gets totally different treatment. It's a very consistent client care system. And there are many things that you can do, but I would say the greatest opportunity for you to over-deliver on your service is not in closing the sale. It's after you've closed the sale and before they actually travel. That window of time is so incredibly valuable because the engine is going to be absolutely silent in that window of time. And so you can really show your expertise by being proactive in that window of time with things like recommendations, suggestions, can I do this for you, can I do that for you, can I suggest this, etc., and preparing them for their travel. Oh, by the way, did you know if you don't have 2 extra pages in your passport, you might want to go and, I don't know, renew it or ask for extra pages or, whatever. Being proactive in preparing them for their travel and being proactive in filling in the skeleton of the itinerary are obviously things that you can do, as well as over-delivering on service while they're traveling, surprise and delight them, and over-deliver on service after they've traveled as well.
And, a lot of our GTN members are not scared to friend their clients on Facebook. And if you do, and you can imagine your really awesome client, their daughter just got into a really great college, or, their son just got married, or some major milestone just happened in the family. And you can see that because you're connected with them on Facebook. Why not send them a handwritten note to be like, hi, Judy, I saw on Facebook that your son got into Yale. That's amazing. I'm so excited for you. Just wanted to drop you a quick note, thinking about you. Your travel agent and friend, Meredith Hill. I'm Vanessa, but you know what I mean. So, little things like that, over-delivering, letting your clients know that you're thinking about them really goes a long way. All right, next we have, very important, things like a business owner.
Yeah, so many people, including myself, come into the business as a business owner, but you come into the business formerly as an employee somewhere else. And if and when that happens, it's very, very, very common to bring your employee mindset with you into your business, and then you wake up 5 years later like I did, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not an employee. This is my business. I own my business, so I've got to do things like the business owner, not like the employee. So that means you don't wait for direction. That means you don't look to other people to tell you what to do, including your clients or your host agency. You need to start thinking and acting like a business owner and making decisions quickly, and also doing things before you feel totally ready to do them.
That's a big one.
Yeah, definitely a big one. Every single hire I have made since I was a business owner, I have made that decision before I felt like I could afford it.
Like maybe you're sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, all these marketing things that Meredith and Vanessa are saying, I just don't have time to execute it. Well, let me tell you, you don't have time not to, because if you want to actually have a business and get a commission check and make a living selling travel, you must do these things. This is so important. So if you don't have the time, that's okay. You recognize that. Just don't live in the problem. Don't be like, oh, I can't. But go and hire somebody, hire an assistant, hire a marketing intern, hire somebody to work with you in your business. And then your objection, oh, but I can't afford that. No, but you can't afford not to. So what Meredith is saying, even if you feel like you can't afford to hire an assistant to help you with all your marketing, you may have to hire ahead of the growth in order to prepare for that.
Exactly.
One of the things that I always hear too, where I know that you're not thinking like a business owner, is lingo and language associated with employee versus, entrepreneur. You don't hire an independent contractor. And if you're not hired. You're an independent contractor. That's an employee. So anyways, that's another conversation, and we want to keep going here. Number 10 is get expert advice.
In order to be an expert, you got to get the expert advice too. You basically get what you give. If you want people to take your expert advice, you got to be willing to get expert advice for yourself and invest in it. Absolutely. I mean, obviously, on our Institute side, we believe in that because we've created a business out of it.
A business coaching company.
But, I mean, really what number 10 is all about is don't do it alone. Don't feel like you need to do it alone. There is no glory in going it alone. I promise you, if you're successful after going it alone, it doesn't feel any better than if you're successful.
And it's largely not sustainable.
And it's not sustainable, too, exactly. There is no need to reinvent the wheel. The best, most successful people in the entrepreneurial world throughout this country and throughout the world, they will tell you that they found someone who did what they wanted to do, and they modeled them. That is probably the best and easiest way to find success, is not figure out the path yourself, but find someone who's already figured it out and just model what they've done.
And isn't it annoying when your clients want to DIY their vacation? So stop DIYing your travel business.
Exactly.
If you don't want DIY clients, then you need to also invest in expert advice, and you need to be able to be willing to go out of your way to get outside opinions and expert
and pay for it.
Just like you want your clients to pay for your services as well.
And advice.
So those are the 10 habits of really successful travel professionals that we've aggregated. And we've talked a lot about a program and our training program. We talked about it at the beginning, and we've obviously talking about it all the way through. And so you really want to find a good training program that helps you master all those 10 things, like how to be a business owner, how to market yourself as a travel expert and attract ideal clients, how to actually sell the travel, how to actually,
and have a client care system.
And have a client care system, and how to think and act like an entrepreneur. A training program that actually gives you continuous mindset advice. In fact, tomorrow in our private Facebook forum in the host agency, Meredith is hosting an open Q&A on mindset. So she's encouraging all of our members in the host agency to bring the points. How are you feeling stuck? What is your stuck point? And she's going to help our agents get unstuck through mindset coaching. So you want to be in a training program, and that's not even with our training program. That's just being in our host agency. That's just the value of being hosted with us. So tools, resources, and information for taking it further. So if you love what we're saying, it's resonating for you, you're like, well, those girls, they seem to know what they're talking about. This is good. So here's what we want to encourage you to consider. We have created the most relevant and up-to-date travel professional training program. It is called Travel MBA. You can go to Get Your Travel MBA to learn specifically about that specific program. It is a 12-month program. You do not need to wait the 12 months before you start booking. As soon as you pay, you get immediate access to the content, and then you sign the IC agreements that you're actually hosted with GTN as well. You can start selling travel right away. We have a lot of agents in the program that are like many of you that have been in the industry for a couple of years or a year or even a couple of months and realize, okay, this isn't working. I'm not on a good path. I don't have any income coming in. I don't know what to do anymore. And they've actually course corrected, switched hosts, came to us, and now they're on a path to profitability. So I know that might seem scary.
That's an important point to make, is that it is for brand new people, but it's not only for brand new people.
Right.
We have seen a lot of success with people who have been in the business for 2 or 3 or 4 years, but they still fall into that accidental hobby.
Right. And so everything on the slide here we've talked about, so I'm just going to skip to the next slide. So the course curriculum, the benefits of the program, you'll see it all on the website. It includes the course curriculum, and I like to say that the curriculum, there's static curriculum, there's 13 core modules, but then there's also dynamic curriculum, meaning we do live class with our mentor every single month, and we talk about consumer shows. We've done Facebook ad training sessions. We've done how to leverage the CRM. We've done cruise groups. We've done tour operators. So we do all kinds of things. Then you do a monthly Q&A with Meredith, which is invaluable. In fact, Janine from Storied Adventures birthed her literary themed brand from the monthly Q&A with Meredith.
She asked me about the show itself. I gave her advice on how to exhibit and what to be, really her big mission of being there.
Right. And it's important. Meredith is really good at pulling out what she calls your brilliance, and it's important that you choose a specialty and a niche that's actually heart-centered and not head-centered, and these calls are really important. And in that vein, you also get a what we call a nail your niche coaching session with Meredith included in the 12-month when you're ready for it to really get laser focused on your specialty. You get access to an experienced travel agent mentor. Her name is Lisa Fletcher, and she's the owner and founder of Signature Escapes and is totally amazing. There's just the reviews for Lisa are out of this world. And let me just explain something to you very important about Lisa, very important delineation. Lisa is not an employee of Gifted Travel Network. Lisa owns and operates her own very profitable travel business, and we pay her a portion of the Travel MBA fee to mentor the mentees. Now, why is this important? Because in other host situations, you have a sales service center where you can call in to a possible, quote, coach, but you have to understand, if you're assigned a coach from your host agency, ask yourself, who do those coaches work for? They work for the host agency. Their employer is the host agency, which means when you're asking them for advice, they have to give you an answer that the host is telling them to give you, because that's who they work for. Lisa is not employed by us. She is totally independent, and her interest in anything she does is squarely on you. And so she has no vested interest in anything. She literally just wants to help you grow your business.
Incredibly available, and she's
you have a 30-minute coaching call with her every month. You have open office hours with her and unlimited email, tons. There's some travel industry credentials. Obviously, you're hosted through us. Your tribe, we have an amazing tribe of heart-centered travel entrepreneurs. And then, of course, you get your completion certificate is another benefit as well. So here are some information about how the modules are broken up: business startup, understanding the industry, financial planning. We have all modules on how to market yourself. We have modules on how to sell travel. And of course, we have modules on how to think and act like an entrepreneur. And so if you really want to have access to a training program that teaches you how to have a successful travel business in the digital age, then the Travel MBA program is for you. So here's the actual cost of the MBA program. Now, I do want to reiterate that you can still host with us. You don't have to do the Travel MBA program. If you are unsure of if the Travel MBA program is relevant for you or not, and you have some questions about it, but it interests you, but you need to talk to us, just go to our website. You can go to go to the website for the host, or getyourtravelmba.com. You'll be able to be directed back to the host agency website. The host agency website is Gifted Travel Network, like our logo right there, giftedtravelnetwork.com. Just schedule an appointment, and we'll talk to you about it.
You can schedule an appointment if you scroll to the bottom of the sales page for Get Your Travel MBA.
Right. So there's lots of ways to talk to us. And like I said before, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love your feedback. I'd love your questions. You're more than welcome to friend me on Facebook. I would love to accept your friend request. I'm very open like that. And let's keep the conversation going, and we'll probably take it over to email, and I'll ask you to schedule an appointment. But friend me too, and we can keep talking. So think about, what that investment means. The $3,000 price tag for the Travel MBA program is so small compared to what the results we're seeing. I mean, look at you can buy a franchise for $10,000, but that's not your own brand, or you can spend $40,000 on a traditional business school. But then you can go the opposite route and only pay $500 for your travel industry certification. But that can get very expensive, because if you just want to go the cheap version, you probably will still be an accidental hobbyist in a couple of years from now, or paying less than $500 to join a random host. You really want to pick a host that is right for you. So I'm going to skip through these because you can see them on the website, but these are some, testimonials from our travel MBAers. John Reese actually is one of our top producers now in our host agency of almost 200, and he did, the Travel MBA program last year. So go for the Travel MBA program, you can go to getyourtravelmba.com, or you can go to giftedtravelnetwork.com as well. We love to hear from you. Friend me on Facebook, Vanessa McGovern. I'm wearing a pink dress. I can't remember what my cover photo is right now, but I'm wearing a pink dress, and we probably have a lot of mutual travel industry friends in common. So that's me. Friend me. Send me a note. Don't private message me without friending me, because then it's going to go into an other folder and I might not be able to access it. So just that. So anyway, so that's the website for the Travel MBA program. So Sandy, do you have any questions at this point?
Do you have questions? We also have to ask the question for the prize.
Hi, yeah, thank you. That was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for that wonderful information. We did have some questions, a couple of questions, but we are very short on time, and I know our agents
Sorry
want to
about
get
that.
the prize. So I want to urge our agents on this call, if you asked a question that we don't have time to ask, or if you think of something after the webinar is over, do get in touch with Meredith and Vanessa via either this website or social media. They gave you the information, and they will
And
be.
also email info@giftedtravelnetwork.com.
Yeah, info@giftedtravelnetwork.com, or me, Vanessa, at Vanessa at giftedtravelnetwork.com. So we're very accessible, so go ahead and let us know what those questions are.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So we're going to get to the prize giveaway now, a $50 gift card. The way this is going to work is that Vanessa or Meredith, which one of you is going to ask the question?
I'll ask it. Meredith.
Okay, Meredith is going to ask a question about something that she and Vanessa discussed during this webinar, and the fifth correct answer I see come across my screen will be the winner. So,
All right.
So get ready.
Lucky number 5.
Lucky 5. And I'll announce when we have a winner. We will pass your information to Meredith and Vanessa, and they will get in touch with you about claiming the gift card. So, Meredith, whenever you're ready, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. So the question is, what is the number 1 marketing blind spot for travel agency owners? What is the number 1 marketing blind spot for travel agency owners?
Okay, let's see. We got a lot of answers. Let's see who's number 5. Okay, we have a winner. The winner of your very generous gift card is Scott Calandro. Scott Calandro. The correct answer is list building, and Scott was the 5th correct answer I saw on my screen. So congratulations to Scott. We will pass your information over to Vanessa and Meredith. I want to thank you ladies so much. This information has just been absolutely phenomenal. I know that our agents will contact you with more questions and questions about how to join your host agency and your MBA program. So I know you're looking forward to that. So thank you so much, Vanessa McGovern and Meredith Hill.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
And thank you so much to all of our agents for joining us today.
Yes. We'll see you on Facebook.
See you on Facebook. I know you got a lot out of this.
Exactly.
And enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye.